Hey everyone, and welcome back to Mrs.Hamideh's English channel. I'm Sarah, and I'm here with my friend Paul. Today, we're talking about something that's on every English learner's mind: how to learn English faster.
That's right, Sarah. We all want to improve quickly, but sometimes it feels like no matter how hard we study, the progress is slow. Today, we're going to give you a real plan that actually works, one that you can start using today to learn English more efficiently.
But before we jump into it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss any of our tips, tricks, and practical advice to improve your English.
Exactly. All right, let's dive right in. If you're ready to start learning smarter, not harder, keep listening because we've got a lot of great stuff for you today.
1. Create a simple daily study routine. First things first, let's talk about routines. One of the biggest secrets to learning faster is consistency. But you don't need to study for hours every day. The key is to make studying a part of your everyday life.
Right, I know, we've all heard this before, but it really works. You don't need to carve out 2 hours a day to study. Just 15 or 20 minutes of focused study is much more effective than cramming for hours. The goal is to do it every day. That's how you build momentum.
Exactly, and it doesn't need to be boring or stressful. You can study while doing other things. For example, I listen to English podcasts while I'm making breakfast or commuting, and I jot down new words in a notebook during my lunch break.
That's a great point. Studying doesn't always have to mean sitting at a desk with a textbook. You can incorporate English into your daily routine naturally. The trick is consistency. The more often you expose yourself to the language, the faster you'll learn.
And if you can, try to mix up your study activities. One day, you might focus on listening, another day on speaking, and on another day, you could focus on writing. Variety helps keep things interesting and engaging. 2. The power of pause, write, repeat.
Now let's talk about something that's going to help you remember what you studied. It's called pause, write, repeat. This is one of my favorite methods because it's simple but super effective.
So here's how it works. When you hear a new word or phrase, whether it's from a podcast, a YouTube video, or even in a conversation, pause and take a moment to think about it.
Then, write it down. This might seem like a small step, but it makes a big difference. Writing things down helps your brain to focus and remember better. And once you've written it, try to repeat the word or phrase out loud.
Don't just repeat it once, say it a few times. The more you say it, the more you'll internalize it. And don't stop there. Try to use the new word or phrase in a sentence. For example, if you learn the word incredible, you could say, "The view from the mountain was incredible."
That's the key. You're not just memorizing a word, you're practicing how to use it. That's what makes it stick.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes while speaking. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Plus, when you use new words in different contexts, you start to understand them even better. 3. Review days. How to keep everything fresh. All right, so you're studying every day. You're writing down new words and you're repeating them. But there's one more thing that's super important to make sure all this information sticks. Review days.
Yes, after you've been studying for a while, it's crucial to go back and review everything you've learned. This is something a lot of learners forget. You can't just learn something once and expect to remember it forever.
Exactly. You need to reinforce what you've learned so far. I like to set aside one day a week, let's say Sunday, to go over everything I studied that week. This helps me remember new vocabulary, grammar, rules, and phrases.
And don't just review passively. Actually use the words and sentences you've studied. Practice writing them again, speak them out loud, or even have a mini conversation with yourself. This helps you retain the information.
The goal is to make sure the things you've learned move from your short-term memory into your long-term memory. And the more regularly you review, the easier it becomes to recall information when you need it. 4. Rest is just as important as study.
Here's a tip that might surprise you: rest. Yes, taking breaks and getting enough sleep are crucial for faster learning.
It sounds counterintuitive, right? But your brain needs time to process and organize everything you're learning. If you push too hard without resting, your brain gets overwhelmed, and you won't remember as much.
Exactly. It's like this: if you study nonstop, it's like filling up a cup with water. But if you don't let the water settle, it will spill over. So make sure you give your brain time to digest the information you've learned.
That's why getting a good night's sleep is so important. When you sleep, your brain works hard to process everything you've learned during the day.
To stay focused and refreshed, trust me, you'll be much more productive when you give your brain time to recharge.
5. The importance of speaking practice. One of the most powerful ways to learn English faster is by actually speaking the language. A lot of learners are afraid to speak because they're worried about making mistakes. But here's the thing: making mistakes is part of the process.
Absolutely. The more you speak, the better you'll get. If you wait until you're perfect to start speaking, you'll never improve. The best way to practice is to just dive in and start talking.
Even if you don't have anyone to practice with, you can practice speaking by yourself. Try repeating phrases you've learned. Or describe your day in English. You can also record yourself and listen back. It's a great way to catch mistakes and see your progress.
And if you do have the chance, try to find a language partner or tutor to practice with. There are so many apps and websites now where you can find people to practice speaking with.
All right, let's quickly recap everything we've talked about today. 1. Create a daily study routine, even just 15 to 20 minutes a day can make a big difference. 2. Use the pause, write, repeat method to help you remember new words and phrases. 3. Set aside review days to reinforce everything you've learned. 4. Rest and take breaks. Don't forget to give your brain time to process what you've studied. 5. Practice speaking as much as you can, even if it's just talking to yourself.
Exactly. Follow these tips, and you'll start seeing faster progress in no time. Remember, learning English is a journey. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just stay consistent, keep practicing, and enjoy the process.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to Mrs. Hamideh's English channel for more tips and fun ways to improve your English. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.